Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:34, and Alice in Chains of Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
It's going to be much chillier today. You know?
Well,
It's going to be, let's see, a high of 63. We were up to like 80 the other day. So
63 at the end of October is still a pretty decent day.
it is, but it's getting chillier.
Yeah,
You might want to turn the heat on tonight.
let's see about that. Matt, what a show today. Not only do we have Open Line Friday, we've got the keyword to cash, and it is a free ticket Friday.
Shut the front door,
I knew
Bax.
you'd say that.
Yeah.
Tickets to see Tom Segura at the Mass Mutual Center. He's going to be there on May 22nd, and we'll give you a shot at those tickets a little bit later on today. And there's other stuff, too.
I can't wait for the Open Line Friday. That's my big thing.
That's your big jam,
Yeah,
huh?
that's it.
It's 5:35 at Rock 102.
You could be one word away from 1,000.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:52, and Def Leppard with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be a nice sunny day today with a high of 64. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 64. It's 38 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call the Western Mass Masons for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Oh, and the plot thickens. We still don't know what caused Jamie Foxx's mysterious hospitalization last year. You remember when he was in the hospital and he almost died?
I do.
But here's a new angle. Diddy did it. Did he did it? Did he do it?
Or did he don't?
Did he don't? Maybe he did. People who attended the 3-night taping of Jamie's upcoming Netflix special, What Happened Was, he stole that from me.
No,
I used to say that.
Yeah, I know, but there were other people who said it too.
Earlier this month, they say he blamed Diddy for his health emergency. One witness claims Jamie said Diddy did something to Jamie that caused his hospitalization, and he's the one who called the FBI on him. Jamie Foxx called the FBI on Diddy. Well, I'm going to show that guy.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it's all true.
This guy says he doesn't think Jamie was joking. Another of these alleged attendees says Jamie told the crowd that Diddy poisoned him. However, a third person claims that while Jamie told a bunch of Diddy jokes, he didn't blame Diddy for his health issues. According to this witness, Jamie said, quote, "People keep asking me if Diddy was responsible. He was not responsible. If he was, I would have been dead." There's no word on when that special will air. Well,
Probably sometime before or after the trial.
what? I don't understand why. You know, if the information's out there, what are people holding on to? Why don't you just release the names and tell everybody who was there?
Because there's probably a lot of people that are clamoring to not be outed in this whole situation.
Well, I guess you shouldn't have gone to the Diddy White Party then.
I mean, there's already people that are drawing the parallels between Diddy and the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, who was also busted for sex trafficking this week.
Who was it?
The CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch.
Right, and he's involved in sexual assault allegations and everything.
But what
too.
they're trying to do is make the connections between the two.
Yeah.
That, maybe one has something to do with the other. I haven't proven that yet, but I mean that's one of the things that some of the conspiracy theorists are trying to tie together.
But that's what I mean. Instead of trying to fuel conspiracy theories, start releasing some factual information instead of just theory.
You'll get there.
A 79-year-old casting director named Penny Perry is suing the Hallmark Channel. She claims she was fired because of her age. And in her lawsuit, she claims the network has soured on a couple of other people because of their ages. Holly Robinson Peete and Lacey Chabert.
What's wrong with Holly Robinson Peete?
Perry says one executive called them old and another and said they had to start casting younger stars. Holly's 60 and Lacey is 42. Reached for comment, Hallmark said, quote, "Lacey and Holly have a home at Hallmark. We do not generally comment on pending litigation. And while we deny these outrageous allegations, we're not going to discuss an employment relationship in the media." So, meh.
All right.
Lacey's latest is a Netflix holiday movie called Hot Frosty. That sounds like a Kim Kardashian film.
I was going to say, that could mean two things.
But she's also in a new Hallmark movie called The Christmas Quest this year. I can't wait for the Hallmark Channel to start running those Pieces of shiznit.
What are you talking about?
24 hours a day.
Those are great shows. They're hardly pieces of shiznit.
Great shows?
Listen, they tug on the heartstrings, Steve. You ever watch any of those shows and you try to fight back tears?
I never saw anyone, trying to win an Emmy or an Oscar for a Hallmark movie.
That's because the Academy is rigged. That's why.
No, actually, you're probably right about that.
You plucked my heartstrings, you got me forever.
John Wick director Chad Stahelski has some thoughts about that old sad Keanu meme. You know, the photo of Keanu sitting on a bench looking solemn and eating a sandwich. Chad says, quote, "What are the memes out there? Sad Keanu and lonely. He's actually very happy, enthusiastic, incredibly positive." Before Chad directed Keanu in all 4 John Wick films, he was his stunt double for The Matrix. So you could say that he knows him pretty well. You know?
Wow.
He said the John Wick vibe goes in a second. When you nail something, he's the first guy to smile, laugh, and just really show joy. It's such a contradiction to John Wick. His smile will light up the room. You got to see Keanu on set. I know everyone hears the stories, but he's there early. He's always the first one there and the last one to leave.
He's got nowhere else to go.
Well, how do you know he's the last one to leave if you've gone before him? And there's got to be other people in the building, like a grip guy or a sound guy. Or
probably have to check out, with those cards of the machine.
The security guy's there all night long on the movie set, making sure nobody messes with the set.
Maybe Keanu locks up. Maybe he's got the keys.
I don't think Keanu is responsible for that. Have you seen his performance in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 1, 2, and 3?
Steve, I can't even believe you need to ask me that question. I believe the answer is a resounding yes.
Oh, I was going to say no. I never got that third one. I couldn't even get through the second one. The first one was like the movie of my generation.
Oh, they kept getting better.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Police Academy movies.
No, and then number 2 was pretty bad, and I couldn't even get through it, and I didn't even bother. I only watched the trailer for the third one.
That's some stick-to-itiveness there, Steve.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do. Helen Mirren thinks it's sad that Kurt Cobain died when he did because he never got to see GPS.
I've thought about that too.
On the Brave New World podcast.
That really, truly is one of the things he missed out on.
Of all the things that Kurt Cobain, not his child growing up, not him being honored for any kind of music awards, it was the fact that GPS wasn't available then.
If Kurt Cobain were aware of alternative routes, he'd still be alive today.
On the Brave New World podcast, she said, quote, "It's the most wonderful thing to watch my little blue spot walking down the street. I just find it completely magical and unbelievable." Helen also talked about life at 79 years old. It's kind of okay. It's not brilliant, but it wasn't that brilliant to be 25 either. It's not a question of seeking youth at all. It's a question of living the life you have as fully and positively, enjoyably. And what? What is she talking about?
I don't know. I really am more fascinated by the magic of GPS.
It's sad that Kurt Cobain died because he never got to see GPS.
Wow. So deep.
Why? Would it have directed him to a better music career?
Probably not.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian's daughter, Northwest, gave Kim a diamond and gold necklace for her 44th birthday, complete with the newest viral slang term, skibbity toilet. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had something.
I bet she had something to say.
Oh, my God, the last time I was treated like a toilet was when AJ used his hog snake to rooter my squatty potty in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Caitlin?
Well, I never got that done and dirty with her mother, Chris Kim, but I once wore her chair Wookiee like a pair of Ray-Bans. I was Pinocchioing her in the Frigaro.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I was headbutting that jellyfish nest until my face looked like a honey-glazed ham.
Oh, my God.
It reminded me of the time Tommy Shaw, you know Tommy Shaw.
Of course, from Styx.
Yeah, and I stopped at El Cholo for some pheasant enchiladas, and when we came out, it looked like teenagers had egged Tommy's Corvette. Apparently, while we were inside, Jessica Hahn spotted us.
Jessica Hahn.
Yeah, and wanted to surprise Tommy with some provocative pantyless miniskirt poses and ended up suction cupping herself to the hood. Now, luckily, some of the kitchen staff came out to rescue her and Tommy's vet, and they were able to use a spatula to pry her off and get her inside so she could ice down that chotch with some frozen margaritas. Poor Tommy loved that car, but unfortunately was never able to get the stains off the hood and had to get it repainted, which is a shame because they're only original once, Bax.
Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
And, well, I guess that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102. Ah!
Do you have sweaters for layering and more fall wardrobe updates? Plus, don't miss amazing specials for you and your home. So good, they won't last. At Macy's.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Outdoor Power Headquarters, Steel, Ego, Craftsman, and Aaron's.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but it appears as though the New England Patriots are possibly a horrible football team. Sure, I suppose you can make the argument that their 6-game losing streak might be a dead giveaway. You can also make the case that a 1-6 record might also be indicative that they're not very good as well. And with the Patriots facing the Jets on Sunday, there are some who are concerned that a 7-game losing streak might not be that far away either. So what do you do when your team appears to be taking a swan dive into a festering pool of swirling futility? Simple. You call a team meeting. Now, I know that in the corporate world, there's nothing that can't be resolved in a good old-fashioned meetings between disgruntled employees. But this is where great, actionable solutions are born. Yesterday, the Patriots held such a meeting, and according to sources, Patriots team captain Juwan Bentley took it upon himself to address the team and allegedly address the, quote, elephant in the room. Now, which elephant he's talking about is unclear. By the looks of things, it's more pachyderms aimlessly walking around Gillette Stadium than at a circus. However, according to sources, Bentley berated the team on their questionable off-field habits and behaviors. Later, Kendrick Bourne told the Boston Globe that in London, some players made the decision to, quote, be up all night and eating whatever. So are you suggesting that the primary reason for the Patriots' 6-game losing streak is the all-you-can-eat late-night breakfast buffet at the South Street Diner? Because I got to tell you, while it's a hell of a breakfast, there ain't no way you're going to defend against the Jets' red zone offense when you got 15 pounds of French toast sloshing around your stomach from the night before. Take it from me. Eating a late-night breakfast will rip the insides of you right out of your body. That's simply no way to prepare yourself against a divisional rival. I don't care how good the home fries are. That is no way to play football. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You're a painting contractor? Rocky's wants to earn your business. Rocky's on Liberty Street is a paint contractor headquarters with a dedicated contractor entrance and checkout. You set up an account, you call ahead, quick in, quick out. Rocky's on Liberty Street opens every morning at 7 a.m. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 6:14. And the Rolling Stones at Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
It's going to be mostly sunny today with a high of 64. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 64. It's 38 right now in downtown Springfield.
It is a free ticket Friday. We'll have tickets to see Tom Segura at the Mass Mutual Center. He's going to be there on May 22nd. Give you all the details about it a little bit later on. And an open line Friday on the way, too.
We talked about this Mandela effect. Right. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's when, I believe, Nelson Mandela was arrested and jailed for 37 years before finally being released?
No, it's not what that's about. The Mandela effect is when a large group of people remember something contrary to the known publicly accepted fact.
Are you sure that has nothing to do with the late Nelson Mandela?
No, there was people who believed that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Which he did not.
No.
He actually was released from prison and then eventually became the president of South Africa.
What about the gun charges against his wife, Winnie Mandela?
I don't know anything about Winnie.
Oh, well, that's...
But there's the latest one.
You think you know somebody.
You know, we've talked about other ones before, and where is the one that I had the examples? Yeah, the examples. You remember we were talking about the Publishers Clearinghouse with Ed McMahon?
Yes.
He was never part of the Publishers Clearinghouse.
He was part of the other one.
Yeah, and people, for some reason, associated him with that.
Because I think he seemed like the guy that could show up at your house with a big fat check. But it was the other. Not Publishers Clearinghouse, but there was also the other one. What was the name of it?
Hey, let's see. American Family Publishers.
That's the one.
There's no evidence that McMahon ever worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He was, however, a spokesperson for the American Family Publishers. In old television commercials for the American Family Publishers, the word publishers appeared much smaller than American Family, perhaps because the company knew that so many American households had confused the two brands, believing that McMahon worked for the competition. Ed was never a spokesman for Publishers Clearinghouse. There appears to be a large number who believe that he was. This is an example of false memory, also known as the Mandela effect. The latest one I saw was the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Okay.
What do you remember about the Fruit of the Loom logo without even looking it up?
Well, it was a bunch of fruit
Yeah.
and some oak leaves, I believe.
Was there a cornucopia or was there not a cornucopia?
Not a cornucopia.
Really? So most people remember the cornucopia.
No, it was just like a bunch of fruit.
Okay, so that's weird that you remember that because a lot of people are all saying, I remember the logo, and there's pictures of it. There's pictures of this cornucopia with the fruit in front of the cornucopia.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
So is there a cornucopia or is there not a cornucopia?
There's not a cornucopia.
Good, because when I had that tramp stamp of the Fruit of the Loom fruit on the back of my, on the small of my back, I would have been very pissed if they added a cornucopia.
I would think so, too. Now, what about...
Last thing I'd want to do is have anyone think it's a horn of plenty.
the Bernstein Bears.
Yes.
How was it spelled?
Like Berenstein, not Bernstein.
What do you mean? Spell it.
B-E-R-E.
Yeah. No, that's the way it was. It was spelled both ways, that way.
See, I think some people thought it was B-E-R-N.
No. The Mandela effect portion of that was B-E-R-E-N-S-T-A-I-N is what people remembered it as B-E-R-E-N-S-T-E-I-N.
See,
Stain versus Stein.
See, I always thought it was Berenstein, as opposed, they didn't celebrate Christmas. They rarely ever ate the pork products knowingly.
Yeah.
They never mixed the meal with milk, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
very
don't know.
kosher.
Well, they had to be,
Well, of course.
Mr. Monopoly, did he ever have a monocle or not?
I believe he had a monocle.
Many people believe the Monopoly Man wore eyepiece, but he actually does not.
Really?
Yeah. What about Curious George? Did he have a tail or did he not?
I believe. Well, now he wore pants, right?
No, you're mixing that up with Paddington.
Paddington the bear.
Yeah.
Right.
This is Curious George the monkey. Did he have a tail or did he not have a tail?
I'm going to assume he had a tail.
He had no tail.
How does he have no tail?
I don't know.
How's he supposed to scratch himself without the tail?
Well, many people remember George for having a tail and using it for things like swinging, but he never had the tail. He never did that. What's his name? Darth Vader.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
What was the line he said to Luke Skywalker?
I am your father.
No, is that the full line?
Luke, I am your father.
No, he did not say that. He said, no, I am your father.
See, that's what I said first. Now you had me thinking twice, and
you
second-guessed myself.
You didn't say no. That's the whole thing. He says, everybody remembers him saying, Luke, I am your father, because that's like the thing that's been repeated in comedy sketches and all these other things since that film came out in the late 1970s.
Can you imagine if Maury Povich was around back then?
Oh, my God. That would have been awesome.
Darth?
Yeah.
You are the father.
Yeah, and then Han Solo's jumping around on stage. I told you, bitch. I told you. I told you.
And then Steve from the front row has to come down and calm Princess Leia down because she's gone bananas.
Right. Oh, I knew it. It's a stormtrooper. It's 10 of them. Sex in the City or Sex and the City? What do you remember it as?
I always thought it was in.
Nope, it's and.
Really?
Yeah.
I can live with that.
The Fruit of the Loom logo we just discussed.
Yeah.
The company denies having the cornucopia, even though there is pictures that are showing the cornucopia. I remember the cornucopia.
No.
Yeah.
I just remember the. Let's see. There was the grapes, the apple, the other grapes, and I believe some leaves.
This other one about Sinbad.
The comedian.
Yeah, there was. Many people remember a movie called Shazam starring Sinbad in the 1990s.
Was it
where he was like dressed like a genie?
What was the one with Shaquille O'Neal?
That's the one. That's the one that everybody mixes it up with. And there's really no explanation for why people think that Sinbad. Well, I think there was one. Let's see, Mandela effect was confirmed by. Where's the Sinbad one? Sinbad, yeah. One of the most well-known examples of the Mandela effect is the collective memory of a movie called Shazam that starred the actor-comedian Sinbad in the 1990s. In fact, no such movie exists, although there was a children's movie called Kazam starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Uh-huh.
And some other coincidences that could help explain how this movie became created or remembered in many people's minds. Even more confusing, there is now a movie series based on the DC Comics superhero Shazam, though it does not star Sinbad and has nothing to do with what the original plot that people remember it by.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Isn't it kind of weird, though, how a group of people can remember something? It's not just one person saying, oh, yeah, that was Sinbad in that movie. No, there's a group of people going, yeah, there was.
Now, can you imagine if you're Shaq and someone says to me, hey, would you sign my VHS copy of Shazam?
Yes. Could you do that?
Yeah. I mean, if I were Shaq, I'd be pretty pissed off at this point.
But yeah, those were the big ones that I was diving into. It's just, we've talked about this before, but then this whole Fruit of the Loom thing came up on TikTok because I spend most of my time on TikTok.
No, I get it.
And this is where we are.
I'll be damned.
Why are we here? What are we doing on this planet? We're just a blip in time and space.
All right, now you're definitely spent too much time on TikTok.
What are you talking about?
It's 6:23 on Rock 102. It's 6:26 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Don Maher.
Don Maher.
Full forecast for you.
Hey, this week on Baxi's Musical Podcast, my guest has been Robin Hitchcock. Amazing musician. He's got over 30 albums to his credit. Just released a brand new memoir called 1967, How I Got There and How I Never Left. Simultaneously releasing an album of songs that are within the book. It's actually really well done, called 1967 Vacations in the Past. He's also coming to the City Winery in Boston on the 29th. That's next week. So make sure you check that out. Next week, my guest is Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Colin Blunstone from the Zombies. Amazing story about the Zombies that you may not even know about. Check that out starting on Monday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and on rock102.com. It's all brought to you by Metro Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram at Chicopee and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
He was great in that show, that Blunstone, when he went outside to put the cat outside, and then the cat jumps back in the window, locks the door on him, and he's yelling for his wife.
No, Steve, I think you're confusing that with Fred Flintstone.
Are you sure about that?
I'm quite positive.
I think maybe you're suffering from the Mandela effect.
No,
Yeah.
Colin Blunstone is elderly. There is no doubt about that, but I'm pretty sure he drives a car that doesn't need to be accelerated by foot power.
I think we should forget all about this and start a clean slate, if you know what I'm saying. You see what I did there? I did a thing with the Flintstones and all that stuff. Oh, my God. Let's try to get a joke in here.
Yeah.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
on Rock 102,
I make you laugh.
Springfield's Classic Rock.
So a Martian couple
And
and an Earthling couple have met. Don't even ask me how. It's a long story.
How'd they
But
meet?
It's a long story. We don't have time for that kind of nonsense. And the suspense of disbelief.
Okay.
So that's it. And they're talking about all sorts of things. Finally, the subject of sex comes up, right? And the Earthling says, well, just how do you guys do it? And the Martian responded, pretty much the way you do. And discussion ensues, and finally the couples say, hey, we're going to swap partners for the night and experience each other's wives, right?
Okay.
So the female Earthling and the male Martian go off to a bedroom where the Martian strips down. He's only got a teeny tiny little weenie, right?
Okay.
Teeny tiny. And then the woman goes, well, what can you do with that? And he goes, why? Well, what's the matter? And she says, well, it's nowhere near long enough. It'll never reach. No problem, he said, and he proceeded to slap his forehead with his palm. And with each slap of the forehead, his weenie grows tenfold.
No kidding.
Right? And then until it's like impressively long. And she goes, whoa, that's pretty impressive, but it's still pretty narrow. So the Martian says, well, no problem. And he said again, and he started pulling his ears. Now, with each pull, his little weenie grew wider and wider until the entire measurement was extremely exciting to this woman.
Okay.
She's like, she's ready to take that on. Wow. And as they fell into bed together, they made passionate love. The next day, the couples rejoined their normal partners and went off together. And as they walked along, the Earthling male said, was it any good? I hate to say it, she said, but it was amazing. How about you? He goes, well, it was the weirdest thing. She just kept slapping me on the forehead and pulling my ears all night. I don't know why. Doesn't work for him.
Doesn't work at all.
I tried.
Good. That's good. It's all right.
Oh, there we go.
I get your credit.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Here's your West States.
360. Excuse me. 6:33. I have no idea. 6:34. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Should I go through the what is that fast thing for the strokes?
Yeah. My face is good.
Yeah.
My ass is okay.
Yeah, your sternum is okay.
My sternum is fine.
And what about your teepee down below? Is it popped up? Is it
not since I got here today?
All right. Well, I guess
but
you're
you
not
keep
suffering.
talking, big fella.
You're not suffering from a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you slap me in the forehead? Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
pull on my ears too.
That's what I'm talking about. You can tell. You can definitely tell it's a Friday here. Nearly a dozen people were arrested in connection with the illegal drug transactions near the railroad tracks in Springfield. Just a half a mile. Wasn't it Arlo Guthrie? Just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want. According to the Springfield Police Department spokesman Ryan Walsh, he said, my best friend's sister's boyfriend's girlfriend heard from this guy who's dating this girl that there were drug dealing in the surrounding Taylor Street area. I guess it's pretty serious. In response, they were doing this around treatment centers, which I guess, that is the marketing class in the Steve Nagle College of Criminal Knowledge.
Yeah, they tell you location.
It's the exact reason why you'll see a Weight Watchers outside of a Burger King.
Isn't that the weirdest thing? There used to be in West Springfield, there was a Weight Watchers location just outside the Old Country Buffet.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes I used to go to the Weight Watchers meetings, and I'd stand there in the parking lot. I'd look to the right, there's the Weight Watchers. And I look to the left, there's the Old Country Buffet.
Yeah. It's called guilt marketing.
Oh, my God, it was so hard not to go left.
Anyway, the Firearms Investigation Unit conducted several sweeps of the nearby wooded area this month. On Wednesday, 2 people were arrested after detectives conducted surveillance near the railroad tracks between Taylor Street and Warwick Street. Approximately 200 bags of heroin and several bags of capsules of cocaine were seized. Police arrested 46-year-old Carlos Perez Morales of Springfield and 43-year-old Jonathan Rivera of Holyoke. They're charged with a slew of charges, including conspiracy to violate the drug law. Police say 9 additional arrests were made this month in connection with drug operations around these railroad tracks.
Now, I don't know either one of these individuals you're talking about, but I'm looking at the mugshots.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem like the kind of guys get mixed up in all that kind of stuff.
What are you talking about? They look like perfectly normal train riders. That's why they're hanging around the tracks.
I mean, they both look a little tired, like it's been a tough night. But, they look like everyday dudes on the street.
Guy pops out of the woods. You guys want to do some rails? That means 2 things.
Would you kids like to smoke doobies? You seem to be coming out of a rehab center. I bet you sure could use a doobie right now.
I'll take a doobie.
How about a big fat doobie?
A giant doobie. A Brockton man was arrested on Tuesday afternoon. After a lengthy investigation in connection with trafficking massive amounts of fentanyl and cocaine, according to the Mass State Police, an investigation began in August targeting a suspect, 38-year-old Josu Torres of Brockton, for distributing narcotics throughout Plymouth and Norfolk counties. I don't know why this is a top story on 22 News, but it is. During the investigation, Torres changed addresses between Brockton, Stoughton? Is that it? Stoughton and Randolph, and allegedly conducted numerous narcotic sales in those areas. A search warrant was conducted at all three residences on Tuesday
afternoon.
Police seized nearly 940 grams of cocaine, 280 grams of crack cocaine, a small amount of fentanyl, and an unregistered, unmarked 9mm ghost gun.
Now, is this newsworthy here in Western Massachusetts because it happens to be Plymouth?
You know, we couldn't. It was too hard to send somebody out to an empty courthouse at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Totally get it, but I'm just wondering whether we're all bugged out about this because there's wide expansive bands of pilgrims that are all wrapped up in heroin and fentanyl.
What that Taylor Swift there on 22 News?
Yes, Taylor Knight.
Yes. They were short-staffed the one day because she's usually in the newsroom with Rich Teddemer, but she was out at the water main break. They're like, you gotta go. You gotta go get footage of the water spewing out of that pipe.
Well, Teddemer is not gonna go because Teddemer is like the dean of Western Massachusetts news.
He's the union steward.
Well, I don't even know if they're a union shop. I'm just saying that he is the. If I'm not mistaken, I think Teddemer is the longest-lasting journalist in the city.
I guess
certainly
so.
In local television.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think at this point, he has earned the right to be called a journalist.
The king of all media.
In Springfield. Yes, it's Teddemer.
Halloween is right around the corner, and Thursday night, the city of Chicopee is hosting its annual spooktacular trick-or-treat party. Was this yesterday, or was this next week?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I can't tell you. Let's see. Updated October 24th at 3:41 p.m. Because I don't want to talk about it.
Well, you've already started, so you might as well finish it now.
Well, let's just say that it either did happen or it didn't happen yet.
Okay.
This is choose your own ending news. You can choose which way you want this story to go. Anyway, Chicopee is hosting its annual spooktacular trick-or-treat party. The Halloween festivities will kick off at 4:30 p.m. inside Zott Park. The family-friendly event will feature over 100 vendors distributing candy to trick-or-treaters, fire jugglers, dance groups, karate studios, Chicopee's cheerleaders, and many more surprises. It's when we come together as a village that amazing things can happen, said Mayor John View. We are proud to host this event, which continues to grow inside and impact each year. Residents are invited to attend this free event to meet their local city councilors, police, and fire departments from 4:30 to 7 p.m.
Spooky.
Watch out for the superintendent if your child is dressed like a police officer. Whoa. Badge Bunny. Oh.
So what did you go as this year? I went as a lot lizard.
Yeah, I like it. Ooh, a lot lizard. Wow, you're like the... Oh, I see. You're like the one at that Pride Station at the end of 290 or 291. 291.
Trick or treat, honey. Which one do you prefer?
Which one do you want to go with? Do you want to take me down to Max Cap for the evening?
Max Cap. That means two things.
It's now called Geraldine's, but it's now closed.
You better put a Max like Cap on that thing, my fella.
Yeah,
on that little red fez.
Otherwise, you're gonna get something in your Chicopee. That's what's gonna happen to you. What are you dressed as? I'm the ghost of trumpets.
I'm going as the caboose.
Yeah.
At Bernie's Dining Depot.
Oh yeah. You want to see the conductor cut?
I've been off the rails before, honey,
It's
and
bloody-
it won't be the last time.
Bloody and raw, just like I like my conductor cut at Bernie's. All things past in Chicopee, all there in Zott Park with the spookiness. Yeah. You got Rick Goyette with an envelope. Yeah, spooky.
It's not money in the envelope.
What is in the envelope?
The name of the winner of the costume contest. Oh, I hope I win.
Oh, what? No envelope? We could go on and talk about all the horrible things that happened in Chicopee over the years.
Ooh, it's
all
very
the spooky. Let's see. Here's you know what? This could be my fate. You know how I like to drive that Famboni?
Yes.
At the Mayflower Marathon. A Zamboni driver in Quebec, Canada, has been arrested on suspicion of DUI after a low-speed crash at a hockey rink on Monday. The male driver was 25 years old and he was supposed to be cleaning the ice between two games. It's unclear what happened, but he must have zonked out or something because he just drove the Zamboni straight into the boards.
That's hilarious.
I think it's pretty funny. Witnesses called police who came and administered a sobriety test. He apparently failed because... How do you tell, at a Canadian hockey game, how do you tell which one's drunk with the wafting of everybody's breath?
In
Doesn't
Canada...
it throw that test off?
I was going to say that in Canada, the one that sticks out the most is the one that hasn't had anything to drink yet.
He apparently failed because he was arrested and booked, and nobody was hurt, but a door onto the rink was damaged.
Yeah, son, do you have any idea how fast you were going?
5 miles an hour. I told him to go around. Telling the sweep up guy, the ice sweep guy.
How much have you had to drink tonight, sir? 2 moose heads, 72 ounces apiece.
They do drink large beers up there. I remember going up to Toronto years ago.
Yeah,
and they sell beer in the oil can. That's it's a quart of beer.
yeah.
Man, they really got a handle on that alcoholism thing, don't they?
When we used to go to Montreal, me and Bobby Booyah would sit at the bar, like in the afternoon, because we had nothing to do. And so we would order a couple rounds of Rickard's Red. And they said, do you want the small glass or would you want the big glass? And we're like, oh, give us the big glass. And it was like they had to bring it out there like in a hand truck.
You're not doing
a forklift.
You don't do a very good French accent. That was more of a German
You
accent.
two
there you
fat Americans.
Would you like the red beer?
Would you like the bigger beer, or would you like the little boozy, tiny beer?
Oh, the little pussycat American tiny beer. You going to pick up your paws and lick it like a little kitty cat at the milk out of his bowl?
I believe the small beer was like 36 ounces, but the large one was like 72.
Oh well, you can't always go big, or you definitely have to.
No,
go
you
home.
don't.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, sunny with a high of 63. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 63 as well. It's 37 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:53 and Skinnerd with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be a nice day today. Sunny with a high of 63. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 63. It's 37 in downtown Springfield.
You know, if you were at the Mayflower Marathon Comedy Night last year at MGM Springfield, you know that it was a hilarious night of nonstop laughs and comedy. Well, we're doing it again Sunday, November 3rd, again at the Armory of MGM Springfield. It's brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements and Aquapump. It's going to be a night of laughs with Steve Nagle as your headliner. I don't know if you've ever seen that guy. He apparently appears like every couple of weeks at some place in Westfield for $20.
Who dat?
I don't know, but I hear he's nice. Also, our special guest, Cody Montaigne and Andy McDermott, will be joining us. I'll be your host for the night. All the profits going to the open pantry for the Mayflower Marathon, and those tickets are on sale right now at rock102.com. It's the Mayflower Marathon Comedy Night brought to you by Dave Miner and Aquapump and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So that spooktacular thing out of Chicopee was last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why 22 doesn't like. They put this story out at 3:41 p.m. The thing starts at 4:30.
So you get like an hour to prepare yourself.
Less than an hour to prepare yourself. It only goes until 7:30 or 7 p.m. And it happened, but the way they made it sound like it's happening next week, and this story is one of the top stories that they have. What is with this? You should really like kind of put an end date to the story.
Yeah, I was going to say here's an idea. When an event is already over, you should probably say it's over or remove it, or say here's what happened last night at such and such an event.
Right.
Otherwise, people think that the event may be next week or today or the next day.
I know.
Now you're going to have a bunch of people showing up around the park, all dressed up, waiting for candy, and they're not going to get jack squat.
Jack squat.
Right.
Yeah.
And imagine how upset people would be if they walked out of the park with jack squat.
Well, I got 3 different events I can plug right now for Halloween that are happening this weekend, this Saturday. There's one in my town of Huntington at 5:30. They're having like a bonfire and a like a food truck and all that stuff, and then the trunk or treat thing going on.
Sure.
And then in Russell, they're doing the same thing. They're doing like a haunted hayride, which we talked about yesterday. Is 62 Nip Bottle Man going to be part of the the thing? But I was told by the police chief, no, he will not be.
You sure?
Well, he's incarcerated. He can't be out.
Yeah, but anybody else could pick up the slack and buy 62 nip bottles and put them on their chest.
That's true. And then in downtown Chester at 4:00 at Town Hall, they're doing a costume contest and face painting, and then they'll have a rag shag parade, and then the trunk or treat, and then the Sinister Saw. That's the haunted trail at the Chester Granite Saw. That sounds pretty cool. And then at the train station, you can stop by the train station for music and a fire and weather permitting and all that stuff.
The toughest part about that event is trying to decide where the hell downtown Chester is.
It's right in the center of the town where the theater is.
Is
the
that
famous theater where all
that's where all the hustle and bustle of Chester occurs?
All the actors and actresses come up from New York to do the summer stock.
You know, I do summer stock.
I do summer stock. But yeah, they do. Remember I told you I ran into that lady from that 70s show years ago? She was sitting at the Blue Note Cafe in Chester, which is like the Waldorf of
Well, it's very classy.
Of Chester. And that's where she was sitting there. And my buddy I'm like, we're both. I was like, is that her? And then I had gone outside, and I come back in, and he's like, come over here. It's her. And then and I said, what the hell are you doing here? That's what I said to her.
And she's, I do summer stock.
And then she goes, I don't want to. She had that little voice. I don't want to be known, but thank you for welcoming me here.
Yeah,
she was a nice lady. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then she had a drink, and I think she left. That was the end of it.
Probably left a little bit faster than they had you two idiots hanging over.
But she was performing at that world-famous theater there in Chester.
I'll be damned.
How about that, huh?
Go figure. It's 6:58 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
9.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Outdoor Power Headquarters, Steel, Ego, Craftsman, and Aaron's.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as you know, today is October 25th. In a world in which information can be easily passed along from one Instagram follower to another, I find myself surprised how a newsworthy event can occur on a Friday and nobody hears about it until the following Thursday. Especially true when that newsworthy event involves a football player such as wide receiver Josh Reynolds of the Denver Broncos. Get a load of this. According to reports, Josh Reynolds was shot last Friday morning after he and 2 of his friends were coming out of a Denver area gentleman's club. In fact, Reynolds was shot twice during the incident, once in the arm and once in the head. Now, to be fair, these are both superficial injuries. Hours after the incident, Josh Reynolds was treated and released. I should also point out that Reynolds did not play on Sunday against Seattle since he was already on injured reserve, recovering from a surgical procedure on his finger. Now, A good journalist might have investigated this story and might have even published it the very next day. Instead, the story comes out 6 days later. In fact, there have been more stories written about the guy's bum finger than there have been about the guy getting shot in the head. Very likely the same finger that reached up when he stated, "Oh my God, I've been shot in the head." I'm also concerned that by not reporting this story until yesterday, how many other customers came in and out of the Shotgun Willie strip club over the last 6 days, not realizing that bad things might happen there. Things like the presence of shotguns being used to shoot people in the head. If I were a regular supporter of nude gentlemen's entertainment, I would be appalled by the disregard for my personal safety. A man should be able to put a $20 bill in a G-string and enjoy a series of lap dances without the fear of being riddled with bullet holes in the back way to his car. No, sir, this is a journalistic outrage, and I, for one, would be demanding my money back. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. How fast is your leaf blower? Well, get a load of this. The Ego 765 blower from Rocky's maxes out at 195 miles per hour. That'll move a leaf or two. The Ego 765 and the slightly smaller cousin, the 670 blower, are on sale all month long at Rocky's. Battery and charger included. You'll find it at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 7-Eleven and Pink Floyd with Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
Sunny with a high of 63 today. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow with a high of 63. It's reversed that. 36 right now in downtown Springfield.
Let's quickly review what we have coming up this morning. We have Open Line Friday, of course. I believe we have the keyword cash. Don't quote me on this, but this might, in fact, be the final day of the keyword for cash.
What?
I know. I again, don't quote me. If it happens on Monday, don't get angry, because I'd hate to give you extra chances to win money. And then also, it's a free ticket Friday. Tickets to see Tom Segura at the Mass Mutual Center. He's going to be there on May 22nd. They're a great comedy show coming to the city of Springfield.
Yes.
Yes.
A wonderful comedy show.
Oh, it's terrific.
Well, a couple of things here. The Hawkman sent us a letter. We don't have to go into the whole letter thing.
Do we need to play the thing?
No. Well, do you want to go into the whole thing? Ah, why not? It's Friday. Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Oh, letters. I will get letters. Today. Oh, boy. Mailman. Mail today.
This is from the Hawkman, huh?
Yeah. Well, the Hawkman, I'm not really verifying any of this information. Good morning, guys. I just wanted to let you know that the Zamboni was invented right in Springfield, Massachusetts. And it's named after Frank Zamboni, and the family still lives in Springfield.
Is that a fact?
I don't know if that is or not, because I'm looking up Frank Zamboni right here. He was an American businessman. He invented the Zamboni. His surname being registered as the trademark for these devices. He was born in Utah. His parents bought a farm in Idaho, and then he went to Los Angeles.
Okay.
I don't see anything about Springfield, Massachusetts being the home of Frank Zamboni.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page.
I don't see anything about Springfield.
He was born in Eureka, Utah, and died in Paramount, California.
And not one mention of Springfield, Massachusetts being...
No. I see nothing here that says Springfield.
Fake news. Sad.
Yeah, well, so much for the Hawkman giving us good information. Although, there may be some Zambonis, family members in the Springfield area. That would not be so surprising.
Let's see. Let's do Frank Zamboni. Oh, no. Why is this freezing up on me now? Frank Zamboni.
Uh-huh.
Come on. I please follow along as we.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Do you have any Google search music you can play?
Let me see. Okay. Well, here's yeah. Sure. This will work.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good Google searching music.
There's nothing indicating that this was invented in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Is it possible the Hawkman is, how shall I put this, full of crap?
Maybe. Hey, I'm just seeing this story, though. Ice resurfacing machine catches fire in Springfield. This is back in 2022. A Zamboni outside of MGM was on fire on Thursday. This is December. Right?
Of 2022,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
and Western Mass News, it was 22 News is just reporting it now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
Well,
good.
it popped up in the Google search. Eventually, they'll get around to giving you details.
Yeah.
Hey, next Thursday, we'll find out that spooktacular happened last Thursday at Zott Park in Chicopee. That's how we do it around here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Droopy Monty said a structure next to the ice resurfacing machine may have been threatened. And this story is from 2022. 22 News will have more information when it becomes available. I never heard it. I never even heard that it even happened.
Hey, it's October 25th, 2024. Still waiting for the updates.
I would die of laughter if they updated that story today.
I mean, was the Zamboni totaled because of the fire? Was it ever rebuilt? Did insurance pay for it?
There's a guy. I don't know.
Was it under warranty?
Maybe.
Were parts hard to find?
Yeah. What was the estimate? Ever since Dennis Ledger, left us, we don't have any more good estimates anymore.
No.
He was the top estimator. That
I don't
guy.
think that's Droopy Monty's. I don't think that's his gig.
That's
really,
not his strong suit.
No,
What's
it's
his
not.
strong suit?
Oh no, they've burned the Zamboni.
I think his strong suit is keeping his name out of the media, so we don't do that.
Anyway,
Some guy said, I've also heard it was invented in Springfield. Play some more Tom Petty, will you?
no, but I'd be happy to play more Google search music.
Oh, I like it. This is like the Mandela effect.
Yes.
Everybody believes that the Zamboni was created here in Springfield, Massachusetts, but it was really created in Los Angeles. The iciest place on earth.
I have literally gone through this up and down. I see no mention of the city of Holmes
Now the Hawkman's a liar.
on the Wikipedia page.
The Hawkman is a liar. I like that music.
You like that?
Yeah. You know, the World Series starts tonight, too, if we're speaking about sports, I guess.
Sure, why not?
It occurred to me yesterday. I was talking with a friend of mine, and he said, that whole Ohtani gambling thing? He shouldn't even be playing in the World Series.
Well, there was never any proof that he gambled.
Look how quickly the MLB, because of all of his stats and what a superstar this guy is.
Right.
But look how quickly that was squashed by the MLB. He had nothing to do with it. He had only had money stolen from him, from his interpreter.
Yeah.
Which, are you telling me that that guy was the only guy that had access to your accounts, or
well, I'm
you didn't
sure
have a lawyer or an accountant, especially when you accumulate that kind of wealth in a very short period of time. This guy's making $500,000 wire transfers to a casino in Vegas.
No, I get it. I understand why you might think that Ohtani may have had some knowledge, but they haven't been able to prove that he had knowledge. And until you have proof of it, it's very hard to say, well, now we're going to blame you.
So let's say the Dodgers win the World Series,
which they will in 5 or 6.
Right. So if you're under the belief of that, will it have an asterisk next to it if he does get found guilty?
No, because he's not the only player on the team, and you can't say that the other players on the team didn't deserve it.
Well, all of his stats have an asterisk next to it because he shouldn't have played.
Well, I don't know, Steve. You know what separates him from every other player? It's the 10-year, $700 million contract. Unless someone can figure out a way to void that contract, 97% of which is deferred, I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think he's too much of a star player for them to go, oh, my God, this guy was involved in something. Let's just sweep this under the rug.
I think that's entirely possible. But meanwhile, Ippei Mizuhara, the interpreter, he's got loads of explaining to do in 2 different languages. Because I don't know how if you have money in the bank and some guy is knocking you out by $16 million that somehow you don't notice. I would notice. I mean, it may take me a while because I don't always. Well, I'm not checking my bank records every single day. But I would think that I would have a hard time balancing the account.
That's kind of where I'm going with that. How would you not know? If I had that kind of money, all of a sudden you get this, massive, whatever it is, the first payment is. I don't know what's the first payment of a contract like that. 10 years and how much?
10 years, $700 million, but most of it's deferred, so he's not getting that money anytime soon.
But he gets something. He obviously has amassed some sort of fortune doing what he's been doing. I would be like watching everybody. I'd be going online and looking at my bank account every day going, oh, look at it. Look at all those numbers. Look at what can I buy with that?
Yeah.
What can I do with this money? I would be doing that. And all of a sudden I don't know, nothing. This guy took all my money.
I'm not a gambler. I'm not the kind of. I'm too attached to the paltry scraps that are left of my heavily garnished paycheck.
Right.
But I have to tell you, if I found myself $40 million in debt because of my gambling problem, you know what I would determine? I'm probably not a very good gambler.
Well, no,
I'm probably very, very bad at it.
You're chasing the high, man. You had one good round.
I know.
You bet $1 million on something and you won $2 million. Let's just say that happened.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, I could do this again. And you keep chasing that dream. It's never going to happen again.
When I put like a $20 bill in a slot machine at the casino, when I do that, and I lose that $20, and it's not really recoverable unless I put another $20 in, which really is how you feed the monster of gambling addiction. I after that first $20, I'm pretty much done and lament that loss for weeks at a time. That's just me. At $40 million, which I believe is where this guy was at the point that he was implicated in this scam, I would start thinking to myself, perhaps I need help. Perhaps I have a gambling problem.
Perhaps.
And $40 million in debt. And, I'm also facing 30 years in prison. I think at that point, that's my rock bottom. I think that's where I start singing, there's got to be another way.
I'm just under the belief that this guy's not telling the truth. And everybody overlooks it because he's got all these great talents to be a baseball player.
Now, would you be thinking any differently if the person involved here was, say, like an Aaron Judge?
No, because I will tell you, when A-Rod, when all that stuff was coming up about the steroids, I shunned that man.
You did?
Shunned him.
Shunned him how?
Mm-hmm. By saying this, he shouldn't even be on a team. You shouldn't even, if you're cheating, you're somehow cheating, no matter what it is, whether it be steroids or gambling or, excessive pine tar. You shouldn't be playing the game.
See, but they have to be able to prove it. And so right now, they have been unable to draw those kinds of conclusions here.
But they proved that A-Rod was taking steroids.
Yeah, right.
So why wouldn't you kick somebody off the team like that? Why wouldn't you do that?
I don't know. I would have kicked them off. I would have kicked them off and never looked back.
Same with David Ortiz.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk about that kind of foolishness.
Yeah, because every baseball player gets so much better when they get older.
Listen, you can say what you want, but Big Papi is off limits. I mean, that's come on now. He is the most beloved Red Sox player since Teddy Ballgame.
More like Big Sloppy.
All right, don't make me come over there because I'll start swinging.
You got a little steroid juice on your forearm there. Most Papi.
Most important, significant player since Carl Yastrzemski, number 8 himself.
Yeah, see, those are the guys that didn't use any. Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle.
He was juicing up every game.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle's performance enhancer was called Old Milwaukee.
One of my favorite stories about him was Jim Bouton when he came in here to talk about that game. That was years ago. And he was talking about how they're all sitting in the dugout. And Mickey Mantle is like drunk off his ass. Like drunk. And he goes up to the plate and he gets 2 strikes. And finally, he hits this. I know it was a grand slam or it was something. It was a home run. It was a good thing. And then he comes around the bases and they're like, Mick, how the hell did you even see that? And he's like, I saw 3 balls. I aimed for the middle one. But that's the way they used to do it.
And that's when I punched Mickey Mantle right in the mouth.
Yeah, now it's a bunch of just gambling slobs and steroid users.
It's 7:25 at Rock 102.
Attention, foot
3 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news, and it is brought to you by Big Y. Join my Big Y rewards today and start earning Big Y, your family market. His local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. Whether you are as cold as ice or hot-blooded, the first concert announced for next year's Big E is Foreigner.
Shut up!
Yeah!
Well, they do I Want to Know What Love Is at the end.
Yes, that's the song that ruined the band. That's what they did. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2024, the band has 10 multi-platinum albums over almost 50 years, as well as 16 top 30 hits, including Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Feels Like the First Time, Say You Will, and I Want to Know What Love Is. Tickets for the concert, which include, will go on sale today for next year's concert.
Well, there you go. Let me ask you a quick question. Are there any original members going to be there for this show?
Probably not.
Really?
Because they weren't at the time that I saw them.
So
they do put on a great performance.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do a terrific job. I'm just saying that, Mick Jones is the only guy still technically involved, and I think he spends most of his time just counting the money backstage.
Well, yeah, and he's like, diving into a pot of gold like Scrooge McDuck.
Right.
Into a big vault.
1 for you, 15 for me. 1 for you, 15 for me.
2 people tied to a drug dealing in Springfield are behind bars this morning. I hesitated because it says, instead of R, it says AE.
AE?
Yeah. Drug dealing in Springfield, AE behind bars this morning. The Springfield FIU has been...
Hey, what's your language?
Hey, FIU too! Has been conducting several sweeps of the wooded areas near Taylor Street where an uptick in alleged drug deals have been taking place. On Wednesday, officers were conducting surveillance in that area and arrested 46-year-old Carlos Perez Morales of Springfield and 43-year-old Jonathan Rivera of Holyoke for their alleged involvement in the drug operation. Officers found 200 bags of heroin and several bags of capsules of cocaine. 9 other people have been also arrested in connection with the drug dealing operation. Well, there you go. There was something from the West Springfield police that somebody sent me yesterday.
Okay.
And it was one of those, do you know these people? The suspects have been identified. This was yesterday. The West Springfield Police Department is looking for the public's assistance in identifying the 2 females posted in pictures below. And these are like HD pictures, right?
Okay.
On September 30th at approximately 6:40 p.m., the 2 females pictured entered a local business in the Riverdale Shopping Plaza. Once they were done selecting merchandise from the business and putting it into bags within the shopping cart, they left the store without making any attempt to pay for the merchandise. Once outside the store, they quickly hopped into a vehicle that was illegally parked in the fire lane just outside of the door. If you happen to recognize any of the females, contact Detective Latino. Here we are putting labels on people again.
I mean, it's really. So do we know what store they were in?
I can't tell from the, it looks like maybe a Kohl's. I think it might be the Kohl's, but they don't like to say that. They don't like to say. They'll give you all the other details surrounding it, like the detective is Latino, and the case number is 2480166-OF.
Well, that's very specific, isn't it?
Yes.
See, I suppose that the stores don't want people to know that there are people who are stealing stuff from inside their business. I suppose I can understand that. But if you're looking for eyewitnesses, don't the eyewitnesses need to know, well, I was in that particular store at that particular time? I mean, there's all kinds of people all over the Riverdale shops.
Well, here's where the police are kind of getting a little backlash from the folks of Facebook because, everybody on Facebook is an expert detective, right?
Right.
one of the women is wearing a shirt, and I won't say exactly what business that she's working from, or looks like she might be in her work clothes.
Is it a business somewhere near this particular store?
Well, not too far. It's a medical facility.
Okay.
And it has the logo on her shirt, but you can't judge, that facility, but there's plenty of other things to judge that facility for.
Right.
Not the people. She might not even work there. She could just be wearing a shirt. I mean, like we were talking about this the other day. People who buy Rock 102 shirts from Savers and pretend that they're Rock 102 employees, with the staff on them. This is a scrub, look like from a local medical place.
Okay.
And the commenters were just beating up the cops. Yeah, based on the color, that's a phlebotomist or a lab tech and then they name the place. Yeah, you really need us? You really need us to identify these people? Like, what's wrong with you guys? Here's the thing. They put these pictures out. They probably already know who they are.
Right.
Especially if it happened on September 30th. It's almost a month later. They just want to know which one of you snitches is going to get stitches for blowing this person in. They want to identify who this person is. You have to be sure that it's that actual person. What if this person doesn't, because they're like, why don't you go to that place and ask them if they know who she is? They probably already did that.
Well, I got to tell you, if my phlebotomist were perhaps involved in a crime, and I could say, privately, hey, I think that's my phlebotomist, I would be very concerned about being the one to implicate my phlebotomist if, in fact, they were innocent, because the next time I needed a phlebotomist, they decided, I'll show you a thing or two, mister. I will send the wrong sample to the wrong lab, or I will mix samples so then all of a sudden you have to be treated for a disease that you do not have. Now, I'm not saying that my phlebotomist I trust with all my bodily fluids. So I would not
getting poked and prodded.
Yeah, no, I totally do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you got to be careful who you're implicating.
Do you ever have
the whole phlebotomy industry could turn their back on you, and then where you're going to be? When you really need to draw some blood.
Do you ever have a hot phlebotomist?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
What?
I think they're lying when they say they can't find the vein. They just want to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
Ooh, I couldn't find it on this arm.
Let's try the other arm.
Yeah, we're going to have to poke you in the other one.
Okay, you're going to feel a little pressure.
Yeah. Ooh. But just like any other woman, they suck the life and the blood out of you.
Okay, could you just hold that right there?
Yeah,
just put your finger on the head for a little while.
Hold this like you're going to do some heroin. Make a fist.
I totally trust my phlebotomist.
It is kind of dirty when you go into a phlebotomist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Make a fist for me. And then when I tell you to release it, release it.
Steve, can I just say how much you've just creeped me out right now? And I mean that. And I mean that in a very sensitive way.
Well, I'm just saying. There's connotations to any. You could say that for any.
I know. I'm just saying the blood laboratories in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize it's not an easy job, and they're overworked and maybe even underpaid. But my God, Steve.
Well, clearly
now you're putting thoughts
stealing from Kohl's.
I know you're putting thoughts into people's minds. So the next time they have to go get something, let's say like a lipid panel done, all of a sudden now everything's got a second meaning.
And by the way, if she's a phlebotomist, she would be working for that other new company that they hired.
Yes, that's right.
It wouldn't have that particular logo on it. I wouldn't think, would it? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Munson Fire Department responded to a large brush fire located in the area of 250 Palmer Road on Thursday night. Crews found a railroad trestle on fire in a remote area. It actually looks pretty cool. It almost looks like the train engine in Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
Left the flames on the tracks.
Yes.
Yeah. A second alarm was requested for additional personnel and water supply from mutual aid departments in Bondsville, Hamden, Palmer, Three Rivers, and Wilbraham. There was a significant amount of damage caused by the fire, and the tracks will remain shut down until evaluated and repaired by the rail company. The fire was out, and the scene was clear by 3:30 this morning. So if you have any worries about your train picking you up in Palmer, you might want to check the schedules.
Okay.
Well, that's how we do it. You're not going to get anywhere.
No, and you know what? Let's say those rails are used for the purposes of commerce,
Yeah.
moving goods from one part of the country to the next.
Does the steaming tender now become a smokehouse?
I don't believe so.
Well, I'm just saying, if you get all that smoke on a railroad trestle that's nearby.
It's been forever and a day since the last time I was at the steaming tender. I like that place.
I was just talking about that with somebody the other day.
Yeah.
Talking about comedy shows over there. Should do a
Actually,
comedy
that would be a good place to do it.
at the steaming tender.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make some phone calls today.
Maybe you should.
There you go. Everyone knows that social media is probably not good for children. Kind of like how they know that potato chips are probably not good for us. But it's not something that's easy to stop. Norway has announced a new ban on young people on social media. Supposedly, they will, quote, they will enforce a strict minimum age limit of 15 because tech companies are, quote, pitted against small children's brains. The Norwegian prime minister admits that it'll be an uphill battle, but said politicians must protect children from the, quote, power of the algorithms. Norway already had a minimum age of 13, which is aligned with the existing minimum age requirements on many social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, but none of that is working. So if you just raise the age by 2 years, it'll definitely work.
It's not going to do a damn thing.
The government says they're considering several ways to enforce it that don't intervene with human rights, like tighter age verification barriers. For example, they could require a bank account, which would be tied to an official age.
Oh, guess what'll happen then?
Everybody's going to be opening a Swiss bank account, a Norwegian bank account.
If I got to give you if I have to give TikTok my financial information to start using it, guess what I'm going to stop using? TikTok.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. And you know what? I hate to tell you, but any smart kid will figure out their way around the age restrictions.
Yeah, like they always do.
Of course.
Nothing is foolproof.
No, of course not.
And again, you know what? You can set all the rules you want with your own children, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to go over to another kid's house and do that stuff.
And the other thing is, it's only kids that can figure out that stuff. Adults can't figure out that kind of stuff.
We
don't know what we're doing.
I wasn't allowed to watch like gory movies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy Lamantia, who lived down the street, he had all the access, and his parents embraced all horror movies and things like that. And we were 11 or 12 years old watching these movies we probably shouldn't have been watching.
And where's Andy today?
I don't know. He's probably living under an underpass.
Probably in prison somewhere.
I don't think so.
Taking his violent aggressions that he learned by watching all them TV shows and R-rated movies.
They were the cool kids in the neighborhood because his dad had a Porsche.
Oh, yeah.
And he would show it off to everybody. Everybody else's crappy Chrysler Reliant K cars that they had in the driveways back in the 80s.
Those were good vehicles.
This guy had a Porsche and like a Suburban. Like, this guy had money. And he showed it off to everybody.
Yeah. That doesn't mean he's one of the cool kids, though.
Well, they were cool because everybody wanted to go to their house because not only could you watch gory movies, but you could play all the video games. They had like every video game that you could possibly imagine.
And look at the old man's car.
Yeah.
Money.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, sunny with a high of 63. It is 36 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah. Hi.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:53 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 63. Tomorrow, more of the same. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield.
Couple things to let you in on. Next hour, Open Line Friday. The same rules apply this week as they have for the last couple of weeks. No filthy language, no hate speech, try not to act like a dink. Those are the three rules. If you can do that, then Open Line Friday should be a moderate success. Also next hour, the keyword to cash. We'll give you more details about that in a little bit later on. But it is also, Steve, a free ticket Friday.
Free ticket Friday?
Yeah, see, because today is Friday, and we happen to have tickets, and the winner will win them for free.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. Tickets to see comedian Tom Segura. Hilarious comedy show at the Mass Mutual Center. He's going to be there on May 22nd, and we happen to have a pair of tickets to that show.
All right. Well,
All right.
let's do it.
10th caller right now, 293-102. Want to get to see Tom Segura at the Mass Mutual Center, May 22nd. Good luck to you.
All right, then. We'll just wait for the calls to start flowing in here.
They'll be
into the line.
They'll be flying in no time at all. And by the way, by the time Open Line Friday starts, we will have already had a winner. So don't, after 8 o'clock, don't worry about it.
Don't call for that while we've already announced the initiate. It takes like less than 30 seconds for us to get a winner once we start answering the phones.
As bad as we are with numbers, we can count to 10 pretty quickly. That's where it ends.
Well,
but
you can. I
right,
don't know if I can do that.
You could do it. Yeah.
Count to 10?
Yes.
1, 2, 6, 9, 8, 2, 1. I can't do it.
Close enough.
Is it?
For this contest?
Is it acceptable?
It's acceptable. By the way.
That's why you answer the phones.
Yeah, but that doesn't really. Do you trust that?
Yes. I trust you with that more than I tell you what time it is.
It's 7:55 on Rock 102.
Is it?
Yes,
is it?
It is.
All right.
On Rock 102.
View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Outdoor Power Headquarters, Steel, Ego, Craftsman, and Aaron's.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but it appears as though the New England Patriots are possibly a horrible football team. Sure, I suppose you make the argument that 6-game losing streak might be a dead giveaway. You could also make the case that a 1-6 record might also be indicative that they're not very good as well. And with the Patriots facing the Jets on Sunday, there are some who are concerned that a 7-game losing streak might not be that far away. So what do you do when your team appears to be taking a swan dive into a festering pool of swirling futility? Simple. You call a team meeting. Now, I know that in the corporate world, there's nothing that can't be resolved in a good old-fashioned meeting between disgruntled employees. But this is where great, actionable solutions are born. Yesterday, the Patriots held such a meeting, and according to sources, Patriots team captain Juwan Bentley took it upon himself to address the team and allegedly address the quote-unquote elephant in the room. Now, which elephant he's talking about is unclear. And by the looks of things, there are more pachyderms aimlessly walking around Gillette Stadium than at a Wriggling Brothers circus. However, according to sources, Bentley berated the team on their questionable off-field habits and behaviors. Later, Kendrick Bourne told the Boston Globe that in London, some of the players made the decision to be, quote, up all night and eating whatever. So you're suggesting that the primary reason the Patriots have a 6-game losing streak is because of the all-you-can-eat late-night buffet menu at the South Street Diner? Because I got to tell you, while it's a hell of a breakfast, there ain't no way you're going to defend against the Jets' red zone offense when you got 15 pounds of French toast sloshing around in your stomach from the night before. Take it from me, eating a late-night breakfast will rip the insides right out of you. And that's simply no way to prepare yourself for a divisional rival. I don't care how good the home fries are or the toast may be, that's no way to play football. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Hey, you a painting contractor? Rocky's wants to earn your business. Rocky's on Liberty Street is the paint contractor headquarters with a dedicated contractor entrance and checkout. Set up an account, call ahead, quick in and out. Available at Rocky's on Liberty Street in Springfield. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:10 and Led Zeppelin with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny with a high of 63 today. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield.
Steve, before we get into Open Line Friday, I would be remiss if I failed to give you the next keyword to cash. As you know, you could win $1,000 just by following along. I'm going to give you the keyword. I'm going to spell it. I'll use it in a sentence. I will repeat the word, maybe spell it a second time. And then you got to go to the contest, the contest page at rock102.com and enter it before midnight for your chance to win $1,000.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Are you
do
ready?
it. Yeah.
The word for this hour, Steve, is the word mask. That's mask. M-A-S-K. As in, today's word is mask.
Mask.
M-A-S-K. M-A-S-K.
All right.
Good luck to you from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
Great movie with Oh, God, what the hell's his name now?
Jim Carrey?
No. Cher and, what's his name?
Yeah, right.
Eric Stoltz.
Eric
From the
Stoltz.
Richard Grieco Studios in East Long Meadow, Massachusetts, it's Open Live Friday!
All right, 413-293. That's the number of the Route 10 Tire listener line for Open Line Friday. Let's try to follow the rules here, shall we?
Sure.
Number 1, no foul language. Number 2, no hate speech. And number 3, try not to act like a dink. That pretty much covers everything.
It's really not that hard.
It's not, except you'd be surprised how many people fail to follow those 3 simple rules. All right, the phones are going already here. Rock 102, good morning, who's this?
Hey, it's Joe from Brimfield.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
Did Vince the plumber call in last week or no?
No, he didn't.
No.
He missed it.
All right.
He
We'll
called
try
in.
again. Thank
He
you.
called in afterwards.
Yeah, I know he calls in after, but I always should call in early because when I call in after, I just get beeped.
All right.
All right. Well,
All right.
we'll let him know you called.
All right, so shout out to Vince the plumber.
All right, dude.
Oh, look at that.
I'm sure he'll hear it.
All right, yep.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Bax. This is Billy Bob from Bayseed. How are you today?
Hey,
Good, Billy Bob. By the way, Billy Bob introduced himself at the Cigars for Soldiers event last week. Good to see you, Billy Bob.
Oh, yeah. So how you guys been? Good?
Good. Good. Hey, did you have fun last Sunday?
Yes, I did. It was you put on a great show over there, Bax, and I'm gonna go again next year because it was awesome.
Awesome.
The prizes, I didn't win anything on the prizes, but I'll tell you, it went for a good cause. All the money that I spent over there went for a very good cause. And Steve, we missed you over there. I was hoping to see you over there, but Bax said you had a lot of things going on, and we did miss you. I know I did.
Well, maybe
but
next
I don't
year
know
I'll
about
be
Bax, so.
No,
It'd
listen,
be nice to see you.
get a steak dinner, get a couple cigars.
Hey,
Whole
you
thing
can't
is
beat
awesome.
that.
No, sir.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you guys have a great day, and keep up the good work, and keep me laughing. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, okay?
All right, Billy Bob. Thank you very much. Okay, Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Macadamian.
What's going on, Macadamian?
Not much. You guys had a great week this week. Good shows.
Thank you.
Thanks. Were you listening to the same program we were listening to?
Not. Yeah, I believe so. But I had the volume down low.
Oh, well, it could have been somebody else.
That would explain it.
Just really quickly, I know you guys can't remember what you did yesterday, but I listened to your show, and Wednesday, you guys were talking. I took some notes. You guys were talking about injuries on the job. Like I think you said somebody banged their head and it was bleeding. I think it might have been you.
Yeah, injuries that we've stupid injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay. You remember? Yeah, it's funny because it brought up an occasion with myself. I was working at this meat packing company when I was younger. Meat packing company.
Yeah, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I fell into the meat grinder backwards. I got fired. Yeah, I got fired. You know why?
Why?
Because I got a little behind in my work.
I knew you were setting us up for something.
Wow. You said that was going to be real quick.
Thanks, Macadamian. You have a good weekend. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
It's the Hawkman called.
Mr. Fake News himself.
Yeah, Mr. I don't know what a Zamboni comes from.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with you guys, but can I give a shout out first?
You have a Zamboner to pick with us, is what you're saying.
Oh, I got a big Zamboner to pick with you guys.
Yeah, I bet you do.
You haven't had a Zamboner in 18 years.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
the funny part about it is here you are talking, cracking wise while your mom sits in the background laughing at you.
I don't know if that's her. I don't know where she is.
Yeah, sure you don't. Anyway, what can we do for you?
I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Josh, who works for the fine, lovely East Long Meadow DPW.
Okay.
And a shout out to Billy the Trash Man. Billy, if you're listening, thank you for your service.
Your service.
All right. And what about this bone to pick?
So the Zamboni was actually part of two men that invented it, Earl Zamboni and Frank Zamboni, from way, way back in the day.
Okay, but see, there's no literature on the entire internet, and we've read the entire internet.
Yeah, front to back.
Says anything about Springfield or a guy locally had anything to do with it.
So you believe everything on the internet?
Compared to you?
Yes.
Well, I was going to treat you to a nice, lovely dinner at the Steamy Tender, but I think I'll rescind that.
All right, Hawkman. We appreciate the call-in.
Go Yankees.
All right, go Yankees.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah, Jimmy from Britain.
Hey, Jimmy, what's up?
Listen, I know you guys are biased, but who do you really like in the World Series?
The Yankees, of course.
The Dodgers, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't even like the Dodgers.
Sure I do.
Wait a minute. Bax, you like the Yankees?
No, I don't like the Yankees. Steve likes the Yankees. I'm never going to root for the Yankees. Not when you got Mookie Betts in a Dodgers uniform.
Yeah, that's right. Now, another thing, too. Tell these people that call in, I don't care about your shout-outs because I don't even know who they are. So tell them to cut it out.
All right. Good way to go. You tell them.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Did you have some clouds to yell out today?
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Big Joe.
Hey, Big Joe. What's up?
Listen, the Spooktacular was yesterday.
Yeah, I know. That's not my fault. That's 22 News' fault.
You know, it was a good time. It was a little chaotic, but
Yeah.
they put on a good show.
Did you get scared?
No, but I did eat a lot of all my children's candy.
Oh, there you go. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what
yeah.
that's what
That's
adulthood's
what
about.
Halloween's all
Make
about.
sure there's no make sure there's no fentanyl or razor blades in there. You know,
You can never be too careful.
You gentlemen have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Okay, Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning. It's Mike the Lawn guy. How you doing, boys?
Good, Mike. What's up?
Not much, dude. Is it me or is listening to Macadamian? It's like a Saturday Night Live sketch impersonation of Joe Biden, but even the actor forgot all his lines. So I just wanted to comment. This is a couple weeks old, but Bax, you were saying regarding the Marconi Award,
yes,
that you didn't know where you guys placed among the nominees.
Yes. Yeah.
I got to tell you, if you take all the radio stations in the country that were eligible for nomination, you guys placed in the top 5, and I think that's really impressive.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I do. And, you know, nobody in Denver, Colorado has ever heard of East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, that you guys put on the map. And let's be honest, nobody's tuning in to listen to whether Dan Williams' wife put pickles on his sandwich or, like, listen to Pat Kelly, like, describe pictures of fish or anything like that. So it's really you guys that are, I think, bringing it home.
I don't know. Dan Williams can do whatever the hell Dan Williams wants to do.
And he often does. He often does.
The one other thing I wanted to say, Steve, is you were talking about grocery store prices in lower income versus higher income communities.
Yeah.
So I know it's a couple weeks old. Sorry, I listened on the podcast. So I grew. You know, when I first came out, I bought my first house. It was in a lower income area, and when I moved to a higher income bracket town, I noticed the grocery store was cheaper. And after doing a little investigative journalism, like 22 News, the cynical answer is because a lot of people in lower income communities are using like EBT and WIC and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the grocery store is priced higher because the government is paying for it.
Oh. Well, we should send all those people to the Long Meadow Big Y.
It's super shady, but you know that's kind of what I heard. So all right, you guys have a great weekend, great show. We appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate you.
Okay, Brock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, fellas. It's Randy. I just want to say you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you, Randy.
And I wanted to give a shout out to some special teams like you, Bax. I'm a Hamden resident, and I just want to give a shout out to the Falcon football team.
Nice.
They got the Pee-wees, the juniors, and seniors. They all finished undefeated, and they're rolling heavy into the playoffs.
Very cool.
There you go.
Awesome.
That's pretty neat.
Yep, the boys are doing well. The coaches and kids are a great bunch, And I just wanted to give a shout out to that team.
Well, very cool. Appreciate it. Thank
What's
you
all
very
this
much.
complimentary stuff? Where's the loser team?
Yeah, where was the complaints?
Yeah, where's the teams that aren't doing that
we
well?
we know there's a couple people that can't stand our guts. Let's not hear from the same people all the time. Okay, Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, guys. Hey, what's it going to take to win this $1,000 cash money here, man?
I don't know, man. You got to put the keyword to cash in.
And lucky.
Well, dude,
Who wins? Are there actually winners? Like, you guys call people the next morning, or how's it work?
We call people the next day when
That's
they've
it.
won. It's a random draw.
Man, some people are staying quiet with this. They win that money, they don't even go on the air and say, "Hey, I won it."
Let me ask you this:
nobody's winning this.
Let me ask you this: if you won $1,000, would you be flapping your fat trap about it to everybody? Because I wouldn't say a damn thing. Because everybody would want to be saying, "Well, then give me $20. How about lunch on you?" Or, "Hey, pay for my gas." Something. Pay my cable bill.
Yeah.
I'd keep quiet about it. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but on the air, nobody knows you. You just say, "Hey, I won it yesterday. Booyah!"
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I don't know. I was just wondering, like, does anybody ever win this, man?
Of course they do. There's a winner every day. Several times a day.
All right, good. All right, good enough.
All right. Good luck.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Okay. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi. Hey, this is Nick C. And I'm just wondering, how's this Uber thing work? I'm not driving lately, and I got to get to golf.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Paul.
Hey, Paul. What's up?
I was driving down the road, and I'm in Holyoke, and I see the street sign. I think it says South Sea Anal Street.
Yeah, South Sea Anal Street. At least somebody out there knows how to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. And I have another thing. How the Dave Coombs thing. Everybody's ragging on you guys about the Dave Coombs thing.
Yeah.
I looked him up and I listened to a little bit of his show, and it was a commercial-free hour, and I couldn't stand it.
You were almost begging for commercials.
Yeah, I mean, he came on and said, like, what the name of the song was. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Did he give a fun fact about the song at least?
Oh, yeah, there was I actually heard him say, I got a buddy.
Yeah, I got a buddy.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Let's do another one.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's George from Agawam. How are you?
Good, George. What's up?
Hey, I was wondering if I attend one of those comedy things that Nagle throws. Does he do as much Dave Coombs comedy on the stage as he tries out on the radio?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the Dave Coombs Hour comedy show.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering because he's been gone for I don't know, over 6 months. Has it been? How long has it been since Dave's been on the air?
Well, he's still on the air. He's just not on the air
Well, just
here.
not
Right.
Here.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just wonder how long you're going to be chewing on that bone.
I don't know, man. I don't know how many times you got to keep listening and still criticize. You call every day. You call every day off the air, and you're like, how many times are you going to do that old Dave Coombs thing? But you're listening so intently that you pick it up every single time that we do it. So what's your deal, dude?
The deal is I enjoy listening to you and Bax answer. Then
leave it at that. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. I enjoy listening to you. Every other caller that calls in here is complimentary except you, Mr. Debbie Downer.
Listen. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me start the call over again. Hey, Rock 102, I really love the fact that you guys talk about Dave Coombs.
Thank you. See? How hard was that for you? How hard was that to come out of your mouth? It wasn't that hard. That's all you need to say, and we move on with our day.
All right. Hey, you guys enjoy your weekend. It was always a pleasure talking to you.
All right. Good talking to you.
If you're into pregnant chicks, I got a buddy. I got a buddy or two.
Well, I think it was a very satisfying open line Friday.
Well, at least it ended on a high note.
It's 8:25 on Rock 102. Rock 102 29 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Are you sure that's the time? Because you messed it
I
up.
know.
You said 7:10 instead of 8:10 earlier, and somebody called you out on it.
I'm sorry. Is this the first day on the show for you?
You know what? I don't even pay attention anymore because you're gonna get it wrong. So why should I be the one to correct you every time?
Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Hey, real quick, this Sunday at 9 o'clock is Baxy's Musical Fun Bag. I'll be playing music from The Cure, The Damned, Lou Reed, Television, The Jam, and many others. It's all brought to you by Raspberries Records. If you're looking for vinyl, the place to go is Raspberries in Ludlow and East Longmeadow. I don't know if you've ever been to that store. Raspberries is awesome. What a great record store that is.
Raspberries.
I've
had raspberries before.
I know, but Raspberries Records
is somebody does that thing on your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Raspberries.
Right, yeah.
Sweet.
Anyway, so that's Sunday night, 9 o'clock, just before Little Steven's Underground Garage at Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
Let's see. Sounds like everyone is on the devil's lettuce this morning. That was a comment from a guy in Orange, Mass. And then love the way you make fun of Coombs. Great therapy for those of us that lived it with you. I think there's still a couple episodes on SoundCloud that you can go back and listen.
Yeah.
To that train wreck.
So if you ever think that, man, I can't stand listening to these guys, that show sucks now. Well, go back in time a little bit.
It was just like it was almost like a dream, a bad dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
I have to be the one to say. I have to be the one. No, I'm gonna talk out of the song. I'm gonna do it.
We got news next to Rock 102.
Here's your Western Mass news.
8:34. I checked. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Well, thank you, Bax. Firefighters from several communities in eastern Hampden County were called in to put out a large brush fire along the tracks in Munson late Thursday night into Friday morning.
How big was this brush?
Big brush.
Big brush? Toothbrush? Toilet brush?
Everybody's got a big brush out in Palmer.
You might want to trim that thing every once in a while.
According to the Munson Fire Department, the call for a brush fire came in shortly before midnight in the area of 250 Palmer Road, which is also Route 32. Firefighters arrived to find a railroad trestle on fire in a remote area. Firefighters from multiple local departments were then called to assist with additional personnel as well as water supply. Firefighters were able to get everything under control and cleared the area by 3:30 a.m. The fire, however, caused extensive damage, and the tracks will remain closed until they are evaluated and repaired by the railroad company. Assisting the Munson Fire Department in their efforts were the Bondsville Fire Department, the Three Rivers Fire Department, the Palmer Fire Department, the Wilbraham Fire Department, the Brimfield Fire Department, and Hampden Fire Department. That's a lot of departments.
That's a lot of departments, so that's got to be, what, like 4 or 5 guys?
Well, I mean, Wilbraham's got quite the crew. And
that's the big crew.
That's probably the big one. They had to call in the big guns. But the other 4 guys. You want us to walk where? All the way down
there?
Down the tracks? I feel like, to the folks out there, the firefighters out there in those towns, it's much like when you're walking down the tracks looking for a fire, it's much like a Stand By Me moment where you're putting your head down to the tracks and you can hear a fire down the tracks on the trestle.
It's a Stand By Me moment.
Yeah, did you ever think we'd have one of those references on the show?
I mean, everything's open. Everything's open for fair game.
Nothing is sacred here.
No.
At Rock 102. 2 people tied to drug dealing in Springfield are behind bars this morning. The Springfield Police FIU has been conducting several sweeps of wooded areas near Taylor Street.
What is it, Elmer Fudd doing news now?
Tweety Bird.
Yeah. Be very careful.
Where an uptick in alleged drug deals have been taking place. On Wednesday, officers were conducting surveillance in that area and arrested 46-year-old Carlos Perez Morales of Springfield and 43-year-old Jonathan Rivera of Holyoke for their alleged involvement in the drug operation. Officers found 200 bags of heroin and several bags of capsules of cocaine. 9 other people have also been arrested in connection with the drug operation in that area.
Yeah, I've seen the mugshots. They don't look sketchy at all.
No, not at all.
Not a bit.
Going down to Connecticut, the owner of a detailing business in South Windsor fled from officers in a customer's car, according to police. Ryan O. Vieira. It's O. Vieira. It's not O. Vieira. It's Ryan
Vieira.
Vieira. 29 of South Windsor was taken into custody on Wednesday through an arrest warrant. According to police, the incident happened back on October 6th. They said they tried to stop Vieira for speeding, but he refused. Police said Vieira also weaved in and out of the lanes and violated traffic control signals on Route 5. During the course of an investigation, it was determined that Vieira, who owns a vehicle detailing business on Edwin Road in South Windsor, was operating a customer's vehicle during this incident and did not have permission to drive it. But if it's a sweet ride,
what are you supposed to do?
Look at Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Those two parking garage guys.
Yeah,
they're not gonna let a sweet ride like that just sit.
That was a pretty hot Porsche. I mean, how you not going to bring that around the block a couple times?
It was. An arrest warrant was sought, and Vieira was taken into custody. He was charged with traveling unreasonably fast, reckless driving, engaging in a police pursuit, failure to drive in a proper lane, violation of traffic control signals, and use of a motor vehicle without permission. However, the car was
spotless.
You could see your reflection in the trim.
You could eat off those floor mats.
He's scheduled to appear in Manchester Superior Court on November 6th. Let's see. In response to reported acts of illegal activity in Northeastern University's Mugar Life Sciences building, which Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs David Madigan later specified to be in relation to prostitution, the university has added Husky card locks to the building's bathrooms. There's a lot going on at Northeastern University right now. At least 8 of Mugar's bathrooms are equipped. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Mugar or Mugar?
I don't know.
Are equipped with the locks, which require an individual to tap their Husky card to enter. This sounds like a setup for prostitution.
So
all you got to do is swipe your Husky card between the slots.
Yeah, right. Except the Husky card is preventing all this prostitution. So wait a minute. So this is an academic building. There are prostitutes in the toilets.
Yeah.
You got all these kids suddenly having to go to the bathroom really, really bad in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Professor, may I be excused? I need to go relieve myself.
I really got to go.
Yeah. I'll be back in about 30 minutes.
Well, when there's a line outside the door.
Yeah, right. It's right. It's like trying to use the bathrooms at
Fenway Park, or
Gillette Stadium or something.
Yeah, the women's room at a usually the men's facilities at those places, they go by fairly quickly.
Yeah.
There's those big troughs of urinals that they allow people to use.
Well, we don't like to lollygag in there. We're not fixing our makeup or nothing. But if you got prostitutes in the stalls,
yeah,
well, I'm going to slow down a little bit.
During an October 16 Faculty Senate meeting, Associate Professor of Communication Studies and Chair of the Faculty Senate's Agenda Committee, Heidi Kevoe-Feldman, said the Northeastern University Police Department, or NUPD, implemented the locks as part of a comprehensive multi-layer approach to resolve reported safety concerns. Faculty concerns brought up to the Northeastern University Police a number of complaints about illegal activities occurring within the Mugar Hall restrooms. These instances were not isolated to specific times of the day, and disruptive nature of the behavior prompted significant concern from students and staff who reported the negative impact it was having on individual well-being in the broader community within the building. Since the implementation of these measures, including the locks, the PD has not received any further reports of the specific illegal activity.
Now, here's the problem I have with this, okay? When I was a college student, now granted it was a long time ago, but I got to believe the same thing occurs today. College students don't have a lot of money. Most college students are broke-ass deadbeats. That's usually how it works. So if you're a prostitute, where are you making the real cash in this deal?
The professors.
I mean, the professors, right. The dudes with tenure or like an administrator, that's what the real cash is.
Yeah, according to NUPD crime logs, there were 8 reported instances throughout May and June of either trespassing, loitering, suspicious activity, or lewd and lascivious conduct in the Mugar Hall. 2 instances specified that the activity took place in Mugar's restrooms. 4 individuals were summoned to court, and 1 was arrested by the NUPD. For instance, on June 6th, there were 3 reported incidents within 2 hours. A report of trespassing at 2:20 p.m., a report of lewd and lascivious activity at 2:43, and another report of trespassing at 4:08. The NUPD identified the 3 individuals who have committed the June 6 incidents, and 2 were summoned to court and 1 was arrested. But they don't give into detail about what they caught and how they know.
Herpes, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Syphilis.
Yeah. What? Would you get did you get a degree at Northeastern? Yes, a third-degree burn from the pustules that have broken open on me.
That's right. I got a herpes simplex 3. Graduated magna cum laude.
Magna cum laude?
Louder.
Yeah,
yes, right.
Is that what it was?
That's right.
A handful of professors said they tested the bathrooms of the opposite gender and found the bathrooms could be unlocked by individuals with a Husky card listed under a different gender. The news confirmed this to be a case. So you can't, whether if you're a chick or a guy, you can go into either one.
You know, it almost seems to make paying for the $78,000 a year to go to Northeastern worth it.
How do you think these chicks are paying for that tuition?
I don't know.
It doesn't even need to be chicks. Prostitution doesn't necessarily
You're right.
like gender specific.
That's a great way to work off some credit.
Could be a dude. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, dude.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, it is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 63. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 63. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:51, and Bon Jovi with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
63 for a high today. It's 38 in downtown Springfield. Coming up in November is going to be a music festival going on at 52 Sumner Avenue. We've talked to the folks from there before. This is to support the MJK Foundation, and on the phone with us this morning is Katrina Darragon. Good morning, Katrina. How are you?
Good morning, Steve. I'm great.
All right, so Katrina, give us a little insight to what the MJK Foundation is all about.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you so much. The MJK Foundation was the brainchild of my nephew, Joe Hutchison. He founded this foundation after my son, Mike Cusdahl, passed away unexpectedly at 42. And the MJK Foundation was solely comprised for the benefit of my 3 granddaughters and mental health in teenage or in children. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous.
That's okay.
Quite all right.
Our mission statement is to keep the love and giving legacy of my son, Mike Cusdahl, alive. And our primary focus is mental health awareness in youth that have had experienced trauma.
And so
that's what we're all about.
Okay, great. And so you're running this music festival that's happening on November 22nd. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from the night there.
Absolutely. We have gotten 3 bands together. We've got the 413s, we've got the Alex Rohan Band, and we've got Pride Falls. We've got 3 different bands that are coming together for this event to raise funds for our foundation.
And there's and tickets are available through Eventbrite, a specific page for this event, and the tickets are pretty reasonable. You're talking about between $25 and $40. That's a great price for a great night of music.
Absolutely. And the bands we've got, all local bands, all up and coming. They bring a great following, and we're looking forward to a great night to raise some funds.
And you're raising some funds for an organization that's near and dear to me, is Rick's Place, Inc. out of Wilbraham.
Yes.
And,
yes, Steve. Absolutely.
And, how important that organization is to, help grieving families and children. I'm so sorry for your loss that you've had to endure, but I think this is a great way to honor your son and to bring people together in support of a great organization. So good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mike loved music, and he loved live music, and, he loved his life.
Well, you're going to have a rockin' good time on November 22nd at 52 Sumner Avenue. Again, you can find the MJK Foundation on Facebook, and you can get tickets there through Eventbrite. Katrina Darragon, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for your time.
No problem.
It's 8:55 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Prices are high.
Tell me something I